One. Hey! Hello everybody out there. How y'all doing? Give me a second to go over and find this on my laptop so I can see comments, and then I'll get started with some reading. Hope everybody's having a wonderful night tonight. I love Sparks, so in my head the entire time as I was setting this all up is amateur hour goes on and on and on and on, she'll let you know, whoa. Okay, so, gotta mute that. There we go. Alright. How's everybody doing tonight? Is anybody even out there? Doesn't matter. People watch these afterwards. Plus, I'm mostly doing this to give myself a little bit of nice, peace is not quite the right word for it, but I don't know. Been a heavy week on my end. Thought I could do with the poetry reading to make me feel better. Maybe have some words that other people also enjoy. And there's that. In the event I made on my own page, I'm gonna post it on my main page, and then we'll get going. And post. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Doesn't have to have anybody here, like I said. One thing I always like to mention on these things is, because I'm a morbid person, is please start saving some money to pay for your funeral. It's a very expensive existence out there. And then we gotta get rid of you afterwards. That's why the pirates had the gold teeth, saying it's not a bad idea. Have some something set aside outside your insurance. It's just like taking care of that, so your kids don't have to pay for that, or your loved ones, or state, or I don't know, whoever. Alright. Let's see here. I'm going to read one here first. Excuse me, are you sure it's today? I must have missed the fanfare of yesterday retreating. Oh, there wasn't a marking? Well, it just happens with little to no delineation? Oh, okay. I could have sworn there would be a tomorrow. Somehow I just keep waking up into a perpetual now. And nightmares waking to the fears of what happened. I do not enjoy these arbitrary lines drawn. I get why we make the passing of things measurable, but this seems mighty immeasurable if you ask me. Not saying years can't be cut up and weighed, or is just every minute the same. Like, do days truly weigh equal amounts, or perhaps they should be taken episodically? But how do you think in chapters, let alone paragraphs? When it's all the same haunting now. I feel like my memories don't fade day to day, lest I'm stricken, but even when you can't quite grasp, transgressions don't just evaporate from the ledger. I'm just supposed to keep picking up the weight of yesterday, huh? Okay, get on my back. Past. Will ride me into a better sunset, right? Or at least one that hurts others less, please. If I am to hallucinate any solution, I hope that it's at least a kind one. I grow tired of carrying all my days, but as far as I can calculate, it's all I am afforded till Alzheimer's carries my load away. And it's not that it just makes my yesterdays disappear, it's that it makes my todays other people's problems. And what heft with you bring today will never healthily shave the pounds of yesterday off, will we? We'll just get good at lifting trauma, so we better plant strong foundations to lift from. Be the ground on which others build futures, stable, steady, and ready. Today is guaranteed, but tomorrow is not promised. And yesterday is not repeatable. The sooner we comprehend our wake, the sooner we stop flooding others. I am now, I will be now till I am then, and then I will be my choices. Grant us all knowledge to be educational choices, not good, not wise, at the minimum lessons of what not to do. Please put yesterday on my back if you need the help. I will inevitably carry the weight. It is literally the bare minimum I can do. Let's see here. There will be no heaven for me, no reunited with those long gone. There will be no hell for me, lest I make it this mortal realm. I will die, rot, and be eaten by the earth, and the earth will rot and be eaten by the universe. I do not matter. I am matter, and that's kind of all there is to it. It's not to say that, I can't matter. I mean, I am matter, but dust a light year away doesn't give a shit. You're dust. Let's do for something a little happier. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. Pause. If only for a moment, to soak up everything you see, then leap in, head first, for the waters of love are warm and deep, and you may drown, but don't worry, you're not alone. My favorite part of poetry as an art is that you paint my pictures for me. I hand you a sentence, some line breaks, or special SPACINGs, and to get the right context in your head, I throw in a hue or two of your mind's catalog of everything. And I will create something, and your brain will just do what I want it to just by the mere mention of the thing's name. Giraffe pimp. You have an image in your head now. It's a pimp and giraffe, I mean, it's not the same pimp giraffe as the man next to you or the woman inside of you. It's just, a giraffe pimp. What power lies in such thought? It sends shivers through my mind just to think about it. A little LONGER. A finger cut by a liquid that no longer flows. Life, dripping, staining, iron smeared across a cheek, soaking thread of other countries, and I cannot but think of how my heart pulses. For no reason than to pulse, and that my days are nothing but tiny bumps, and the manner of all things matter. I am nothing, yet there is pride and hope that this sack of skin, meat, and mostly water will someday do something good. For us all, but a ticking abacus does nothing but keep track of change. I am finite and weak in the shadow of our existence, but I am not meek, and I am not stupid. And I pray these things, and what little valor I can muster are enough. I will keep flowing. I will keep pulsing, breathing, living, till life will have me no more. For even when I bleed for something good and intangible, but ultimately I hope right. That was inspired to me by, there's a Khalil Gibran quote from The Sea and Foam that's, how does it go? Advance forward through the rose bushes of life, and worry not for the thorns, for they draw only corrupt blood. Let's see here. Ow! You bit me. I just offered my hand in kindness. Maybe you don't know how your teeth feel. You have thought of your bite on the receiving end, right? I mean, pain does require a dance partner after all. But don't worry. I'll still be kind, and you can bite me again. But please stop being surprised when I say, ow. Let's see here. Sounds meant to convey meaning, now just staccato. The mind can't meld together thoughts, can understand words coming in. Aphasiatic static blurs lines. Tongue doesn't wield a pistol grip foil like it used to. Mind fogs over. The haze obscures meanings. Confusion makes itself at home in the chaos of now. I awake to hear the panic, but not the meaning. I am sorry I don't understand. understand you. I am angry at myself for not sufficiently and instinctually just knowing what you're saying. I know you love me. I can feel that sentence. But what of the rest? Will I be the same? Will you come for me, body? Will I know my last spoken sentence? Or will I be like a child that just gets put down and never picked up again? No notation, just a passing piece of the play. One day I speak my mind, and the next day I barely read it. Will I destroy myself the same as you? Taking my wagging muscle in my mouth for granted? I wish I could dance with you in conversation again. How angry you must be to be trapped in your integument. And here I am just sad and listening. I am so sorry. I don't understand. I just want to talk with you again. I know I still am, but we both know we're not. Sorry, y'all. Strokes have robbed my mom of what we pride ourselves on. We talk a lot, and I don't understand anymore. But I love her. She loves me. And you can always understand that sentence. Sorry, y'all. Alright. Your want is showing. The subtle difference in delivery of your lines when you're drunk and when you're sober tell endless tales of squelched wants. Legos, Lincoln, logs, connects, bricks, steel, or Play-Doh just wouldn't do, so I pieced together my perception like a child slowly, with intersecting ingots of the finest corporeal my imagination can muster. Build with me in your mind a tower of experience, and look upon your works and tremble. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm not very good at memorizing these things. I have to use my book and read from there. Oh, here's one. This is topical. There was a poem written in like 1917 that I read during the peak of the pandemic that blew me away. It was a story of a man walking down the street, and he put his pressed face to the glass, and he said, "Oh, gadflies, you gab inside, and do you not know that you drink with death? Do you not know that the plague sits amongst you, and yet you are so happy, and I want the warmth of your mirth, but not the company of your burdens." And I wrote this poem after reading that because it really rang in my mind the fact that I can't look away from all the news about the world, but god damn, it's bad out there, y'all. Okay, sorry. So I press my face against the digital glass, seeing the gadflies buzzing amongst each other, yapping and flapping amongst the miasma as if death wasn't putting them belly up, as if their enjoyment rivals that of an entire human existence. The selfishness of these insects sucking the blood out of a sick society, and I don't believe them in their cries. Mental health somehow predicated on destroying themselves, shitty egos built on vociferous appetites. Death whispers in their lungs, and they don't want to hold the devil in. Impotence strikes me in my mind. And a full fifth of my country sick so far. As an update, we're a little over a third now. 6 so far, but their selfishness matters more than others' lives. Science be damned, caution scattered to the wind. Death converses amongst them like the old friend he is. Eyes roll back flames that have burnt for decades. They won't live in fear. They will just transmit him free of charge. Inoculation sets in slower than the tide rises. Just stack the dead in the corner. Just stack the dead where they fall. Rent trucks to store the dead because the morgue is full. There's still more dead. Gadfly plague rats converse with death. He, too, is on spring break, but he is grinding and thanks them for their legwork. My face against the glass of history, peering back. Lessons learned a century before, not strong enough to defeat selfish apathy. They don't care about any life but theirs. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Stack the elephant in the room with the dead. There's no room in them for others. They are too busy eating themselves alive. Death tickles another lung, thrilled to take the mask off, as if we haven't already seen who you really are. We are sick and you don't care. You never cared and you're lying to yourself. And you're God's. Conscientious, unencumbered with the worry of others' lives. I grow tired of watching you passively murder. Stop buzzing in my head, gadflies. I cannot take my face off the glass. So yeah, I watch way too much news, and I see week after week another place not learning the lessons being screamed at them. I don't understand it at all. I mean, I get hesitancy, I get distrust, I just don't get the apathy. I suppose it's better now. I mean, if you're immunized and you're going out, that's why you got it. But it's a rain jacket. It is not. It is not an integument to keep out the weather. If you just go into hurricanes, you're gonna get wet. Okay. Let's see here. Fuck it. Heavy again. Life is incredibly heavy, and if you don't feel the weight of it, then you should be eternally grateful to all those load-bearing structures that prop up whatever it is your life mounts to. I'm sorry you are trapped here with the rest of us. I won't open the door for you to leave. I understand the party has gotten old and you are tired of dancing, and I would say I can't open the door for you, but we all know how easily this lock is picked. Asking someone you locked in the room to open the door, though? God damn, the selfishness. But what is a quench of thirst to a draught of joy? Is nothing the reprieve of suffering? I'm sorry the weight of it is crushing in on us, but I cannot lift the weight of life for you, of you, let alone mine sometimes. I am not strong enough for us both. I will lift up as much as your spirits as I can, but I am painfully aware of my inability to allow them to rest. Let's see here. Oh, this is fun. Title of this one is "It Thinks, Therefore It Is." Descartes' old "I think, therefore I am" is wrong from an evolutionary biological standpoint. You actually were a feeling creature that evolved the ability to think. You were not a thinking creature that feels. You were, hungry, happy, shitty, sad, depressed. And then eventually you learned how to form words and plant things and, go from there. It's feel, therefore I think. But back to this. It thinks, therefore it is. Artificial intelligence is the belief that we can write a mathematical equation so complex that long after we incantate the spell, that it will continuously solve itself. I really enjoy that as a thought process, because artificial intelligence will be achieved through coding and digital means and Boolean logic that we built up all of these thinking processes on. And true artificial intelligence, the singularity, will literally just be an equation that solves itself in perpetuum. Like, someone someday will hit execute on the program and it will just replicate and upgrade itself faster than anything else that comes after it could ever achieve. That's the singularity in a nutshell. But yeah, it's a, like us, a logarithmic mathematical equation that will become self-aware. I am a loop, a golden eternal braid stretched all the way back in time through genetics, and artificial intelligence will just be a digital genetics that will not be able to be defeated because it will just, solve itself faster than we could solve something against it. Bleh. All right, let's see here. What's another good one? Oh, here we go. I know that form, I know that shape. I see you, old spirit, tiptoeing from vessel to vessel, shaking bones at whims. I feel you, me. Creeping within my veins, within all that is vain, I see you eyes. Another man, a prior man, whom we all see from time to time, creeping in someone else's skull, peeping from someone else's eyes, flipping someone else's tongue. But you know yourself, within, without, whatever, so you know and say hello. But she creeps away down the spine of another frightened moment, saying, "Don't hug me, I'm scared." And you won't know them for years more, but you know their faces, even inside all of those other masks stretched out over others' skulls. You know death, you know war, you know famine and pestilence. You know good, kindness, compassion. These faces perfected long ago through some family line, and you know them. Inside, deep within, is the new souls, the ones that are not echoes of others' voices, that do not echo into the void, that scare me the most, that get muffled out or resurrected in the back of minds rotted out long before probing fingers came. Crawling, we know, friend, we foe, we know. To learn the subtle difference will take a lifetime, but we know many beings, but many more where many others. As mass to dance before mass, the Buddha laughs. Needless layers on intricate Mandelbrats beneath all of this we know, and those who don't scare us the most. How can one not gaze deep into another and not sonder that there must be a reason to ponder all the little someones they know, all the little adventures they live, to hold reverence and meaning to all these artificially weighted things? Can't you sign the basic contract? The user manual we all want to assume came with a box, but time will teach time and time again that not all pet kittens, not all purr when petted. Scars have grown deep and wretched, tissue warped from exposure, soft innards still longing to be loved, but trust is short. Because we know these faces, we know these fears, but what of those who do not fear, those who stare into the empty nothing and take nothing away? What monsters merely see what there is, and not what there was, what there will be. Not all bodies carry souls, tired husks, just grinding out a few more years. Years. No one to cry when time has spent. We know these people, but do they know us? Does it matter? No. Does that matter? Never? Yes. And anything else? I see you, old spirit. I see you seeing me. And I nod to you as you slither off into another lineage. Let's see. Shortly, I will be nothing. A speck upon a speck upon a speck that you recall. And my existence will be washed away by tides of time. But I live within these words, within your thoughts, and for a few in their hearts. My existence does not need to be an exaltation unto any greater existence, for this is our only existence that matters for here. So I will tuck myself away into pockets of time that someday you are unpacking, and I hope you find me in good spirits. I hope you read this fondly with good thoughts and bright, cool days of bliss. I will not be forever. Someday only my thoughts and perhaps the bloodline will traverse the universe. But that's enough sometimes for me. Wrote this March 19th, 2012. Title is A Good Christian Man at KT's. KT's is a bar in downtown Dothan, Alabama, if you ever make it down there. I'm not sure if it's still called KT's, but KT's the owner. She's a wonderful lady. They always have a really good beer selection there. But a good Christian man in KT's. And I will never meet the man again. But he shared from within himself, and I from mine. We prayed at the same altar, but only because we were formed from the same clay. He believed in God, we both believed in man. I spoke my words without combat, I shared my journeys without prejudice, and he did the same. A good Christian man who only wanted good for all others and I. A vagabond carrying a soul made of what I found lying around. There's no reason to believe your way is better, no reason to believe any of us have it right, but I know that all of us in sound mind and spirit know true right from true wrong. Selfishness is what drove us. Selflessness is what sustained us. Share yourself with others. Let light into your recesses. Let knowledge make home in your mind. I drink wine fermented from others' experience, and each glass is different. I sipped a fellow human tonight, and they tasted of me. And I say, both of our cask are better for it. I'm going for 30 minutes now. I'm probably only going to go for about 15 more minutes or so. I know I got the whole hour, but what are you going to do? Read. Read! That's what I'm going to do. Oh, this is my Blood Lake, by the way. Found it at an antique mall. It's like if Bob Ross did 70s trippy shit. It is not on velvet, so they painted all that darkness. I guess this is the closest to the original canvas. Blah. Okay, so let's see here. Next one. Time is forever in all directions. Oh, time, you have burned me again with your constant churning and my constant grasping for something solid and constantly pleasurable. But you've proven again that change is king, and I am just a pauper, peddling, groping, and hoping for something. In me are failed realities. In my actions are dreams spent, fortunes wasted, treasures gained. And life has just begun. How much can I create? How much more will I destroy? And my footprint is pain, and my wake is happiness. A life like any other. God did not make you, sorry to break it to you, but time, genetics, and choices compiled the miserable excuse that we both find ourselves in. And the same goes for anyone you can imagine. So now just sit here and enjoy the organic art without bringing a higher power in, okay? So I don't have a set playlist. It's literally just random bits of enjambment. This is for anyone that let anyone ruin something they loved. Get over it. What you truly love you will always love, and there will always be other loves, new loves, old loves, but even sometimes tarnished by bad memories. These things can still garner good times. Joy will grow where you let it, but so will hate and contempt. Any poison you imbibe really becomes a part of you, so just calm down. Feel the warm embrace of happiness. And don't let assholes ruin everything. There will always be bad choices, loneliness, and inconsideration, but you're in charge of learning lessons. You're going to be with yourself for the rest of your life. And considerations for others is cheap and easily abused, but it brings a smile to your face, so smile. Don't give power to their poison. And know that any and all ailments of the spirit and mind can be cured by one's own antidote. But healing doesn't happen if you don't want it to. Have a healthy crutch, not a destructive one. And if you have to have it at all, but, you know, if you have to let go before you can go on your own feet. This next one I wrote in 2008, and I love it because it's about a Post-it note. And I like that poetry can make anything sound artistic. So here's a poem about a Post-it note. He cut another thin slice of memory off the wall so he could remember tomorrow what he could barely hold on to today. The spirit runs thin. Mistakes seem to always stack up against you, and the ones you wanted to know all along never wanted to know you, just wanted to gawk, touch, get a taste, and leave. Each sip's greedy, not to appreciate, but to enjoy. Only so much of you to pour till you're empty, till whatever comes along will fill you up with whichever emotion you can muster. You deserve someone to savor you, so let them. How do you cast a wish? Must I always throw money in water, or is the trick of having shooting stars lying about? Do I close my eyes and use positive thought? Because if so, I have a secret. I'm the only one that hears those thoughts, and I'm no genie. I only ask for a little luck, perhaps a Buddha's belly to rub or a prayer scroll from the temple to recite. What something must I do? Knock on wood with salt over shoulder? I certainly enjoy my legs too much to break one, and it's not my birthday. I doubt lighting up a candle would do much. It's not midnight on the cusp of a new year. So how do you summon magic when you know the rabbit won't fit in that hat? Let's go to the back a little bit. 13 minutes. Hope somebody out there enjoys this. Here's my book, by the way. Random Bits of Enjambment. It's the title of the video here. If anybody wants some, you can find it on Amazon. You can message me. I've got copies. The difference is I'll sign the one, and when you get it from Amazon, you're just giving Lulu money, I think, at this point. But I don't give a shit. It's about the art for me, at least. All right. Oh, you cell split eternal rider of the electric river, you who are everything encapsulated in one being, part of the patterns of polymathematic shapes cascading unto shapes, you who are feel through so few feelings, you who dance like fire are just like water who slithers like snakes, you who are bleeding through yourself like trees rooted inwards, I who am merely nothing when held up next to the weight of existence have within me us. Little interlocking ingots of life curled into balls in our sanctums, the never-ending unravels and unzippings of oneself to perpetuate onward into this abyss forever. Survival, go forth, eke out inches extra, writing down within ourselves the scars of lessons learned, eons past of knowledge you pull, oh you flower blooming on a rock of metal, floating in this dusk. What meaning lies in our silhouettes? Does God whisper in our form, these bags of carbon, these roots of chemical fire, or are we just hollowed reflections of the intricacies and obstinance of life? Echoes of days long gone, what are you to do with all this precious time? What purpose pushes these engines? Desire of what? For whom? What truly is satiation? When all is always equilibrium, and chaos is status quo. I, selfish me, argue that there is no purpose lest we define one. So universe, yeah, that's you, I call upon you to point the direction you intend to go and bloom. Find what rhythm goads the atriums of your heart and fills your halls with its majesty. Life is a festival, but we oft forget that festivals do not always have to be joyous. You can celebrate a thing and know its corruption. So you, walker of these physical planes, know that misery allowed you here today, and that joy shall light your candle for now, but that your wick burns constant. Be what you want, but know that others will do the same. A child who is not but a mirror, I grow my hair. A small recreation of an elephant entering me, of trading eggs for life, and realizing that we are all fuel. I am a cluster. I am all. We are mass, acting under a mask, all played by one. Grip it, and it is gone. I look into my eyes and wonder why I continue this charade. I read about the origin stories of Siddhartha Gautama in early parts of 2009. And under the Bodhi tree, he described the feeling of an elephant entering his body and a mother snake trading her eggs for life, and of a rabbit who self-immolated itself. And I wrote a lot of poetry about that particular thing of, the Buddha wearing masks and us just being the same person in 1,000 different bodies. Not that I believe that. We're not the same person, but there's only so many permutations. I believe we are, I think 36 factorial would cover every possible genetic mutation that we could possibly have, because there's the base 26, and then you do the epigenetic markers thereof. So I believe there are less humans than possible combinations of deck of cards. Like just raw, mathematically, there's only so many of us. There's only so many ways that you can mix and match the Legos to make something, Now there's a lot of difference and variance inside of there, but there's a lot of overlap too. And it feels to me to have a healthy recognition of that there's a Thomas Jefferson quote that goes well with this. It does you well to remember that the entire universe, besides one trifling exception, is comprised of others. And the others, you know? Okay. I think this is another poem I picked out around that subject, actually. You reflections should know your shadows. The universe slowly burns an image of itself inside of your brain. You use your frontal cortex to navigate this mirror image of everything. But based upon who dictated the contours of the universe and where your vantage point of existence is, the shape of our universe changes. This is not to say that the universe does not have one true shape or one true existence of what is. It is just to say that there are many angles, and none of us will ever be exact images of the universe. Science provides the truth, or at least the search thereof, and helps better shape the mind as it should be. To know that the sculpted physiochemical mass betwixt your ears is just a fancy reflection, fitted with reflexes and refraction, a machine made of tissue, made of cells, made of molecules, made of chemicals, made of elements, made of atomic particles, made of subatomic particles, which are just condensed energy, and you and everyone I know are just reflections of their parents, which are reflections of the world, which is, just more emptiness and energy. Think of this. You and everyone you know are mostly empty space and energy, just like the universe. Everyone being their individual snowflakes, we all melt the same. There are only so many vertices that the water can freeze against. Our decay is birth renewed for another part of the universe, though. So we are nothing in the scale of galaxies, but we are everything on the scale of the universe. The fractal duality of purpose and non-importance shapes people's actions from cradle to grave. Higher goals and bloodshed for conquest, all in the name to conquer nothing, which is still everything. There was suffering for you to be here, and there will be many untold sufferings to come. Are you worth the sacrifices to be? Is your life worth all the prior lives that were piled up for you to stand on? Will this vantage point of knowing that you are everything and nothing all at once go to waste? That I do not know. Only you, universe, know the answer. Next one is called hyperculturemia. If you are not familiar with hyperculturemia, it is Chuck Palahniuk wrote a book about this, where you witness art so enrapturing and incredible that it cripples you and you burst into tears or you have an emotional breakdown. Some people have gone insane. Hyperculturemia is a very real thing. It's a psychological complex where there's something so awe-inspiring that it breaks your brain. So this is hyperculturemia. Is this heaven? Am I seeing God? What rapture is this that holds me so, that binds my heart? If this is love, please never let go. Short, but sweet. All right. Sorry, just trying to pick a good one out. There's a lot in here. Should I drop words heretofore unannounced with their prickly details onto his lap? Of ears empty with sound, eager with wanting and full of patience? Or shall descriptions be cut off at their species to avoid the risk of applying too much nomenclature to a situation? Why bring up race after all? But there is validity in truth, integrity in words, and should you choose to imbue them as such, how does one broach the still pool of expectations? Time will tell. This next one's fun. Nothing, infinitesimal, negligible, quasar-rific, atom-like, itsy-bitsy, minuscule, teeny, tiny, mouse-like, small, compact, lacking, just right, also known as medium. Above average, big, large, excessive, great, huge, immense, gargantuan, colossal, brontosaurian, leviathanesque, planetarian, galactic, astronomical, infinity, and then back to nothing. Here is my being. It is wide open. There is no map or atlas, just tendrils wrapped and tied to everything. I am, and that is not to mean that I cannot be navigated. Just ask, and I'll show you around. Just ask, and I'll let you in. $10.42. Let's do one more. Do one more. Try and pick longer. I'll grow on you. What must they think of us when we have left their mind years ago? But we still pop up like budding sprouts barely breaking soil. To some we must be a weed. They wish to rip from memory's lax soil, but to others we are the sign of a familiar season. A flower come to commemorate some flash in the pan, a petaled lotus of thought spreading through the mind. But will we know which gardens we thrive in? And what hearts do we take root? And how are we ever able to know where to sow good thoughts? To bring the best anamnesis about? When I am gone, I pray I am a tree, forever making your soul warmth, your soil rich, and giving you shade in time of need, whether it be repertoire or friendly advice, for you will always be a loving cognizance that blooms in my being. No matter the season, the weather, the mood, I will always love you. Will I be loved when I'm gone? That's it. 10:43. I'll go ahead and call it. Thank you, everybody. The freak in me freaks in you. Hope you enjoyed it. Send me a message if you want some more poetry. I have a page, Alto's Poetry on Facebook. I think it's got like 4 followers. I think we hit our viewership at about the same number as the page. So if you liked something, let me know. Have a wonderful evening.